I would be thinking about you guys always recovering.
Yeah, that's what I. That's
Game controls. Here, there's app library and widgets on your home screen.
Let's get straight into it, man. Like, talk to us. Like, you are a journalism major like me, and you very interested in sports. We just now talking before the show started about sports, and you just talking. Like, how did you get into becoming an author? Like, what was your inspiration to want to go into this career path?
Man, that was hectic. So it goes back to like a phrase that I learned from a friend of mine, Terrence, that went to UK when I was a freshman. He said, you got to plant a seed and then, you got to watch it grow. Obviously, he used it in the phrase when he was telling me like how to get better with talking to women, but it's something that really applies to everything, right? So the seed was planted by my barber, Dwayne Johnson in DC. Like he's
the Rock.
No. Oh snap! I didn't even think about it like that.
I'm looking at a poster of the Rock too, so it's funny you said
that. I be forgetting that's his name, but yeah, Dwayne. He his name's spelled different though. It's Duane.
Okay.
Yeah, Dwayne told me it was the summer after I graduated from UK. He was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about writing a book?" So random. Like my barber was like, "Ever thought about writing a book?" And I was like, "No, why would I write a book?" He was like, "Man, you've done, amazing things. You worked at American University the last 3 summers. You went out of state once, got your degree, about to go out of state again, about to get another degree. It's probably something cool that you've done that's worth writing a book about. Why not do it?" And I was like, maybe I could write a book. And I pitched the idea to my mom, and one, she shot it down because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't even know what the hell I was gonna write about. I was like, what would I write about? And she was like, I don't know, maybe you want to focus on school first and blah, blah, blah. And, maybe write a book later on. All right. And this is not to say there's anything against my mom, but, she just looking out for me. It's just,
that's what mothers do.
Thinking of parents is that, it's a traditionalist kind of method that's always been happening as far as, you go to school, work, et cetera, just kind of how life has always been, especially if you think about their era opposed to now where entrepreneurship and building businesses and doing, forward thinking stuff is more of a norm than it was back then.
Yeah, especially for black parents
too. Think about it now. Is it what?
I said, especially for like black parents too.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how I thought about it once I got the initial idea to, start a book. But she told me that, I was like, all right, makes sense. So then, like I said, the idea started to grow. It took me to watch a video by Gary Vee, and I saw a video, and he was talking about, okay, all my 2019 graduates, if you're between the age of 22 and 30, because it was like a 2019 address, this is your prime chance to make whatever mistakes you want to make, take whatever risks that you want to take, and be able to bounce back just like that. He said, if you don't have a significant other, don't have kids, what is the worst thing that could really happen to you? You fail, okay, then you learn from it. You keep it pushing. And I was like, that's a good idea. Because this is at the time when a couple months into me first like finding Gary Vee. I don't know how I found him on Instagram, but everyone seems to find Gary Vee. So I was like, how could I take a risk that's going to benefit me? So I was like, writing a book. And I thought about it because my barber planted the seed in 2018. So like, if I do write a book, what am I going to write about? And I was like, if I write about something, I need to write about something that's unique to me, right? So the first thing I thought about is the whole party promoting experience at Kentucky, because, I mean, you know it because you went to some of my parties as well.
And I
Uh,
did.
it's a unique experience. And before I went to Kentucky, or even my first couple years going to Kentucky, there wasn't anything like it. After I left Kentucky and hearing stories and visiting the school, there hasn't been anything like it. So my year was very a one-on-one experience. One of one experience is pretty much like the NBA bubble. So I was like, I have to write about this. But I was like, I can't be telling all my business because, you know, I want to have some privacy, you know, in general, just
Yeah.
as a person. So I was like, make it fiction. Easiest solution to the problem. Make it all fictionalized. So change the names of the school, everything. Make it fiction. So I was like, I'm gonna make a fiction version of this. And then the fiction version allowed my creativity to kind of like just explode. So first thing I did was call, you know, my best friend in Arizona, who honestly he's probably my best friend now. You know, we got real close real quick. My friend Noah, who goes to Arizona State. And me and Noah, we just talked on the phone for like an hour while he was driving from Cali to AZ. And we fleshed out like the whole bare bones of the project just right there. And I was like, what we gonna call the school? What I'm gonna name the characters, et cetera, et cetera. So after that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna write the book. And the difference between what future books I'm gonna write, the planning process was very abrupt because I knew myself, I was like, I just need to get it done. As soon as I start putting type it out, as soon as I start typing it out, that's when it's going to start to become from a thought or a dream to a reality. And then I wrote every single day and I was like, hey, I'm going to keep writing, I'm going to keep writing, I'm going to keep writing to make sure I get it all out because that's how I'm going to force myself to get in this habit. And the crossroads of it was when I took Cronkite News, which is the capstone for the master's program and for the undergraduate program in journalism at the Walter Cronkite School, I started to realize how much time it took. Like, because I thought I knew, but I didn't really know. How much time it takes as a journalist, especially if you're in sports. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do both at the same time. And if I do, it'll be after, like, I've already, you know, been in the field for a few years. And the way I felt about writing, the way I still feel, is the love, the passion that I had was undeniable. I feel like I have a gift for this, which I feel like is more evident each and every day because the ideas that I'm coming up with, which you'll be able to see, I don't know if you already started reading like the beta version of it, but this isn't like normal stuff. If you gave a normal person, which we're just going to talk about the normal conventions of, you know, a Word document was like, hey, write how you feel, or like, think of a story for me. Everyone doesn't come up with these ideas with the same ease. There's usually writer's block, which for me is pretty rare. Like I've had it a handful of times, but it's probably 5% to 95% as far as the creativity level. And it's just like, you could just feel something when you're like meant to do something. I'm like, yeah, I have to get this done some way, somehow. So I was like, I don't want to put this off. And I was like, I don't want to, you know, start my career, put this on the back burner and then wonder what could have been. Because the first draft was done, but it wasn't published. And to me, the reality is when it's physically in my hand, that's when the reality will set in. So I was like, I need to make a career change. So I was like, I took the road less traveled and was like, you know what? I'm going to be an author. Will I try to get into journalism in some way or write or whatever? Some way where I can also do another job while I write books? Yes. But it was pretty evident to me that I needed to write books. Like something was calling me, something about it just, I love journalism or, you know, enjoy it a lot. But to me, it's like how Gary Vee always talks about happiness. The passion I had for writing books usurped the passion I had for journalism. So it was easy to, It wasn't an easy decision, but when I boiled it down to that, it made the decision easier.
You know, it's funny you said that because like I mentioned this to a couple people I interview on the show, and I talk about this to people that I like talk about this type of stuff with all the time. Is that you went through this path, like you went through the School of Journalism at UK, you went to a master's program in the Walter Cronkite School at Arizona State, all for journalism, but you found your passion in writing books. And like you said you can like feel like it was something that you really wanted to do. And I think it's very important for like a lot of people to realize when they like found something that they like really passionate about and something they want to do, I think they should like really pursue it. And I also like how you brought up Gary Vee too, because me and you both know George. He kind of introduced me to Gary Vee too. And like that's one of the kind of things he kind of preaches, like do stuff that makes you happy. Like your happiness is most important than anything else. Like, and that's something that I always tell people too. Like happiness is worth more than money. Like you'll be able to find your happiness with like and be able to get money from it. Like with you have a happiness and a passion for writing. Now you're able to like monetize it and use it in a way for your career by writing books, and you're pursuing that. I think it's really dope that you like really started like to go after and taking these quote unquote risks, like because it is a risk, but at the same time it's like you going after something that you really want. So it doesn't come off as a risk to you.